you as a child? What's your interests and dreams back then?
I actually thought about this the other day. You know, one very prominent feeling that I remember when I was a child was the fact that I really did not belong. I felt like it wasn't my environment. And this was true for elementary school, for middle school, and for high school as well. I always felt out of place. It was almost like I couldn't wait to grow up. I was a very impatient child. My biggest dream was to be able to go to college in USA. So it was a dream because it was hundreds of thousands of dollars.
What role did your family play in early childhood?
My parents are elementary school teachers. They're educators. So a couple of very major things changed the trajectory of my life. One, they really encouraged us, my brother and I, to participate in things. I mean, my parents were one of the first parents to go buy a computer, and back then, this computer was like $5,000, $6,000. We weren't rich, but they invested into that. But I think the most essential thing that they did was they really wanted us to speak another language, which was English. Now, I don't know if you know this or not, but when you speak English, you have access to 30 times more information than somebody who does not speak English. And this is probably one of the reasons when I get to spend time with my parents, I spoil them a lot. Because I understand that whatever accomplishments, whatever success, whatever comforts I have in my life today is because of their investment when I was younger. And I could never repay them on the fact that they actually believed in me and they never said anything was impossible.
When you first got the Amiga 500 Plus, how did it change your view of the world?
There was a program. Now that I think back, it's almost like, you know how we sometimes think we live in the Matrix? The name of the program was Ractor. And Ractor would load up on Amiga 500 Plus with one floppy disk. So it's almost like 1/4 or 1/5 the size of a song when you download it. It's not a lot of space. This program would load, Ractor would load, and you could chat with Ractor. And Ractor had so much information. You could ask about Jesus, Michael Jackson, you could ask about Sinatra. It knew so much. And to this day, I don't know how they fit all of that information into Ractor. You would type and it would respond to you in this robotic voice, and it was insane. And I remember sitting there and typing away questions for hours, and it would answer me. Now, fast forward 30 years, or more than 30 years, I'm looking at ChatGPT and I'm like, this is Ractor from back in the day. So that experience changed the way I looked at information.
What drove you to explore ideas beyond what others your age were doing?
I think that the fact that I did not belong pushed me to observe elements and certain information that others my age would not. And this is where I also believe that some of this might be genetic, because I was always curious. I was always looking for new perspectives, new ways, more efficient ways to do things. And let's call it internet, let's call it computer games, let's call it technology. Technology was a huge leap, in my opinion, to whatever it is you wanted to achieve or accomplish. And I knew then that I would leverage technology to my advantage.
Was there ever a point where you felt completely lost or unsure of your path?
There are always times where you feel lost. Sometimes I get discouraged for a day or two. We have our ups and downs, all of us, right? But my superpower is my ability to bounce back. I don't have the luxury to feel lost. I have responsibilities. I have an objective. There are people that rely on me. I don't hear no. I don't hear impossible. I'll continue to do it until it works. And if it doesn't work, by that time, I would have already moved on to something else. I'm not gonna wait around for years pushing something to work. I'll move on, I'll jump on to the next one. But these leaps in your lifetime are very, very essential and important in my opinion. And if you look at billion-dollar companies, if you look at FedEx, for example, FedEx, it was not started to be what it is today. They had to pivot. And that's what I do every day. I know how to pivot.
How did the lessons from your earlier failures influence the way you approached entrepreneurship?
When you talk about failures, you don't have to have this one big failure. That's not how it works. You don't have to go bankrupt and lose everything. Failures are every day. You have micro failures and you have macro failures. A micro failure is you hire somebody, you really believe in that person, and for whatever reason, that person does not work out and that person quits or you have to fire that person. That's a failure. You hired the wrong person. It is your fault. It is your responsibility. It hurts every time because what I do, I have to do with people. I have to do with individuals that share my vision, that believe in me, that look up to me, that I look up to in terms of information or expertise. There are two cameramen here, and I don't know how this works. I don't know what looks good, what doesn't look good. I trust their word. I follow their guidance to show me what looks good and to make me look good. Failures are every day. If you focus on failures, failure is all you're gonna get. If you focus on your wins, and if you hyper-focus on your wins, wins are all you're gonna get.
What is the superpower of an entrepreneur?
Entrepreneurship is a very dynamic journey. You have to be flexible, you have to be nimble, you have to be humble. Because if you're not humble, life will humble you real quick. You need to move into different directions sometimes or change your path. The ability to pick the path that you need to go to with the least resistance is your superpower.
How do you approach business today?
The way that I look at business today is from a perspective of wisdom. I don't think in terms of data or funding when I think of getting into a business now. I think more about, am I passionate about this? What is my gut feeling telling me? Do I really want to partner with this person? Does this individual have the right intentions? Do the core values and the fundamentals match? This business idea, this business person, this employee, this client, do we match in terms of our fundamentals and core values? That's what I look at today.
What does success mean to you?
My opinion of success has changed a lot over the past decade. If you ask me today what success is, I will tell you that success is a good, honest day's work. It's not a destination. It's not driving a nice car. It's not having fancy things. That's not success. Success is enjoying the journey, having a vision, having a plan, having a strategy, and really working hard for it.
Can you describe a time when your ability to innovate saved the situation when building your business?
We're having one of those moments today. I am currently one of two people in my organization that believes that AI will catapult us into the future and it will help us beat every single one of our competitors. And the rest of the team is not as excited or as passionate, and I am literally pushing everybody in this direction. Now, here's the crazy part. I have zero doubts that this is the way to go. Nobody can convince me that this is not a worthwhile investment and tell me that we should not be spending time on this. Again, there are key moments. They are not macro moments, they are micro moments. The technology is moving way too fast for you to have macro moments anymore. The macro innovations are going to slowly disappear. The micro innovations are going to make people incredibly successful in the future. And your ability to catch those micro innovations is going to define how successful you will be from a business standpoint.
If there were one thing every new entrepreneur should focus on, what would it be?
You are going to hear the word no thousands of times. And if you believe every no, you will never make anything of yourself. If you hear every impossible, you will never be successful. If you focus on the no's and impossibles, you will never amount to anything and you will not be content. You have to do it yourself. You are the last man standing. So, understand and make peace with the fact that the journey is not an easy one. It's not a comfortable one, but it is a very rewarding one. How do I know this? I am on this journey right now. There are moments that the things that I'm doing today scare me, but I don't even focus on that. I gotta move. I got things to do, places to go. I gotta move. So I focus on the movement, and that is the muscle that builds resilience. focus on that.